Well, once again, going through the portal, going through the Stargate. This is your buddy, your comrade in light and love, Skull Babylon, and yeah, just doing quick video dream log report actually, just because I literally just woke up like not too long ago, just from a little bit of lucidity that I achieved within my dream that I just wanted to be able to share and pass on to you guys and be able to help practice myself recall it through this method of similar to writing it down by me telling it to a video to share it with you. It sort of helps like build the recollection and build the memory of it, which also helps increase the likelihood of more lucid dreams and everything. Plus, I'm trying this new method of actually like recording it not through Google Hangout and just directly through QuickTime, which I think should probably work pretty cool and might do this more in the future. Anyways, so the dream that I had, literally just getting right into it, there's like two parts to it that were lucid. I mean, the first part sort of leading up to it is kind of arbitrary, not totally important and stuff. But eventually I got to a point where I was like kind of like going through this downtown area, and there were like these bunch of people like doing like parkour and stuff all over the place, and I was kind of like watching them. And then for some reason, like my boots weren't on properly. Like I kept having to like try and tie up my boots properly. I was like half wearing them because I was like on the bus and I had to get off the bus really quick, and I didn't have time to like fix my boots, so I just like slid them on half-assly and then ran out the bus. But eventually when I got my boots done up properly, I was like, oh, okay, now I can like do parkour and I can jump around. And what I envisioned, it was interesting because I actually felt like I was more involved with the creation of my entire environment. But what I envisioned like this stairway. It really reminded me sort of something in like kind of like an old Japanese temple or something like that. But it was like a square room, but with like stairs going all the way around. So it'd be like stairs, and then like 90-degree turn, stairs, 90-degree turn, stairs, 90-degree turn, stairs, and it would go like in a complete spiral, like all the way down through like this huge like this huge level. This like there's multiple floors, and it was all like wood beams and stuff. And there was like snow. I remember there being snow, but then I was just focusing just on like walking down the stairs for a little bit. And as I was doing this, I was putting a lot of attention onto like what it felt like to walk down the stairs in the snow, and even being able to like feel the snow. And then eventually, like as I started doing this, I started picking up speed. And then as I started doing this, I started like jumping around a bit. And what I started to do, I started to like jump from a lower floor to a higher floor in like low gravity mode, which was really cool. So I would like be sort of propped up on the rail, and then I would be looking up at a rail, and I'd be like, all right, like I would see the target, like I would see where I was aiming to, kind of like visualizing, projecting my intention, knowing that I was there. And then I'd be like, all right, 1 2 3, and then push off. And then so there would be this period where, you know, like I'm kind of like, here's one side of the entire like building, and here's the other side, and then there's like this huge open gap in the middle, and then like jumping, just going like and then like going onto there, and then like going up to the next part, and then jumping again. And I like kept doing this, and I kept like jumping up a little bit higher and a little bit higher. And it was very similar to like a training scenario and stuff. There was no top to the room. I just had this like repeated pattern where I could continue to jump higher, and that was pretty cool. And so that was, and I was like fairly lucid in that. Like I understood the concept that like, okay, this is something I'm in control of. This is a dream. Like I have the ability to defy gravity, because again, with dreams, like the only reason why gravity exists in our dreams is because we believe that gravity exists in our dreams. Like straight up, this is something I've talked about before, like Peter Pan style. If you want to fly in your dreams, you have to literally just believe that you can fly, or not even believe, but like know that you can fly, like already connect to the idea that it's entirely possible to fly. And this is why reality checks are so important. And I think some people actually get a little confused with reality checks in this sense, and I'll just take a moment to address it. When you sort of do a reality check where, you know, some people say like you jump in this waking life to see if you can fly, and then the intention is to like not just like jump and then just be like be like, oh, well, I didn't fly, so obviously I'm not dreaming. The intention is to jump while you're in the waking life with the full-blown projection that you will fly. It's not checking to see if you won't. It's trying to do it in that moment, and then just being like, oh, okay, like it didn't work, but that's okay. Like, I understand the fact that it didn't work that way. So like when you try that reality check in your dream, you're not just seeing like, be like, oh, okay, reality check in my dream, I'm gonna see if I can fly, and then you just go do, and then you land back down, be like, oh, okay, you know, no surprise, I guess I didn't fly, which is pretty much what you were doing in your waking life. Instead, you have to carry that full intention that when you do a reality check to jump and see if you can fly, you have to really know that it's possible that you can fly, so that when you do it in your dream, you're connecting to that opportunity. You're like following through with that opportunity to be able to fly. Whereas normally in the waking life, you like really want to believe you can fly, but this actual reality is like preventing you from doing it. Whereas in the dream, it's enabling you to really reflect the full intentions of your mind, which in this case is to be able to fly, and that can be anything. You know, you could do a reality check, be like, I'm gonna like spawn like an apple in my hand, and be like, I mean, like, oh, like, but really believe that it's going to be there, and it, you know, like 99% of the time it won't be there in your waking dream. But if you try that in your dream, it quite possibly will. It more likely than not will happen if you genuinely believe it. If you're not just repeating this idea that like, oh, I think it may, but it probably won't, therefore it probably won't, and I won't be surprised, because like that's not how reality checks work. You want to really practice your intention within that moment. That's what a reality check is more so about, I feel. So a little tip on that point, for those, you know, interested in lucid dreaming and everything, which I think we all should be at this point. There's a lot to there. And then so that was the first part of my lucid dream, and then there's another part of my lucid dream, and I was like walking through a foresty valley, and I at one point I felt like I was like watching other people. It was really interesting. I swear I like saw my friends like walking through, and they were like backpacking just like out in nature, and it was like fall. It was like fall weather and stuff, and it was just like through this foresty place out in like the Canadian tundra somewhere. And then I was in it opposed to just watching them do it, and I was really paying attention to like what it felt like to like walk through the ground and stuff. And there was like little puddles, and there was like slight fog on the ground, and there's like trees, and you know, just like not too much foliage on the trees, but like really like brown and some green colors, and the sky was like nice and soft, though I can't honestly say that I like fully observed the sky at that moment. And then the interesting thing that happened next, and this is like kind of the kicker, as I was like still walking, I felt like I was really visualizing in the moment. And then I looked over to my left, and I saw like this tree line, and I'm like visualizing like animals and stuff that I was seeing there. And then eventually, like what happened through that visualization, through that projection, the intention, through that reflection, some wolves appeared. And those of you familiar, like wolf is something that I deeply resonate with. Like wolf is something that I reflect upon to as my spirit teacher, my spirit animal, my spirit guide, and my animal totem. And then I kept like moving through on this trail, and I sort of like picked up speed a bit. And then one of the wolves like started like running up along beside me and stuff like that, which was really cool. So as I was like doing that, it was kind of like a grayish white wolf sort of thing. And yeah, like that was, and then we just like sort of went in one direction for a bit, and we were still going through the forest, but I knew it was there, like the presence of the wolf was there and stuff. And then to be honest, like after that, I can't fully, there wasn't too much more that I can remember or that happened after that point. But I wasn't flying or anything in that point. It was a different kind of lucidity. It was a kind of lucidity where I was like really observant. It was the type of lucidity where I was aware that it was like very real. I was like I know this is a dream, but this is incredibly real. And that was something I kind of wanted to touch upon, the idea that like dreams are as real as they need to be. People will say, and will be like, well, dreams aren't real. Be like, no, dreams are as real as they need to be. as they need to be able to convey some sort of message, some sort of experience back onto you. And I think if you were to reflect on some of the dreams that you can remember, we would all say that dreams are incredibly real based on the experience that they can provide. I mean, even if you want to look at dreams as like this incredibly hyper realistic simulation environment, the important thing is not whether or not it's a simulation. The important thing is that that simulation generates an experience back onto you that you can learn from, that you can see more of yourself through. And that's why dreams are so important. Dreams are like a magnifying glass, a lens through which we can see more of ourselves, more of our subconscious, as well as our conscious self. So that was really kind of all I really wanted to share in terms of this video. I just thought that was like, again, just because I just woke up recently, it was something I wanted to just sort of get verbalized and pass on to you. The jumping part, the low gravity part was really cool for me. And yeah, so I encourage everybody, of course, to be able to continue their dream practice. And some simple tricks: don't eat heavy meals before going to sleep. That will affect the way as to your ability to remember your dreams. If you have a lot of food on your stomach, then your subtle muscles will put energy towards digesting that food. If you don't have food on your stomach, then that subtle energy will be invested towards remembering your dreams. Another thing would be, if you wake up in the morning, wake up a little bit earlier and just maybe have a glass of water. If anything, stay awake for a bit, do some activities, wake yourself up, and then go back to sleep, which is actually kind of what I did here. I woke up, I was like checking my Facebook, and I did like I drank a little bit of water, stood up, walked around and stuff. Then I went back to sleep, and that's when I had my lucid dreams. And some other tricks would be also being aware as to what your relationship is with any plant allies, with any specifically cannabis as an ally. Just being aware that this does affect your dream recall for most cases, and just being able to provide that opportunity for yourself to discover how much it affects your dream recall by not using it. If that's something that you feel that you use in quite often or not. Because I mean, for me, with my own experience with something such as working with cannabis as an ally, it literally becomes this choice of like, okay, do I want to be like in the zone for like a good like 30 minutes, which is when I'm using cannabis. That's what it will do. It's sort of connecting to higher source. It's not just something that I'll do and I'll just sit on a couch and laze around. It's something that I'll incorporate into a creative process, or really to just be really appreciative more in that moment, or if it's shared with someone in some way or another, camaraderie and you know, a very unique experience. Do I want that? Do I want that like value of that experience, or do I want the possibility of having like an amazing experience in my dream realm, which I may not know what it is, and I may not know that I'm even losing it, because I won't know what I'm losing because I've chosen this. So it's a very interesting thing where it's just like, do you want something that is a sure thing, or do you want to take that opportunity to get to like open that mystery gift, which could be an incredible dream experience, but you won't know until you choose to let go of this, and then you will receive this as a gift, in addition to like the additional willpower and the consistency that you put into it. Because that's the thing with dreams, like dreams, such a valuable thing, yet a lot of people just don't have the consistency and the willpower to follow through with them. But that's where me making a video with this and knowing that there are other people out there is just reminding you, encouraging you to be able to take those steps towards investing more attention to your dreams. And when you do, you're opening yourself up to these beautiful experiences that are part of our birthright as spiritual beings. And again, those experiences, like that is like, in a lot of cases, that is like more where we are from, and then we come into the physical and stuff. Like we were born dreaming, and then we choose to incarnate into the physical, and the physical is just like a condensed, a crystallized version of those dreams in that sense. So and then obvious tips would be writing down your dreams. Writing down your dreams is incredibly important, helps develop the dream muscle memory. It literally is like a muscle, and you have to use it. And if you're not writing down your dreams, don't expect to remember them. Obviously it's a little bit different with some people, but if you want to remember them, write them down. Even if it's just a simple word, eventually it will develop. But the important thing is to maintain consistency with that practice. And yeah, there's other tips and stuff like that. You can get into like cultivation of sexual energy. Something like that is something that sort of comes up in hermetics, and that is something that, you know, in terms of like activating your chakras and stuff like that, just be mindful of you know, like how often you're spilling your cup, so to speak. For my own practice, that is something that, you know, these are all little elements, but they all add up towards the dream experience. And the dream experience is so valuable, because if we want to step into our role as like a cosmic citizen, then I think we have to take upon the duty to awaken more within the dream state, because as we awaken in the dream state, we awaken more within this state, and our ability to manifest becomes more potent. And our ability to manifest is not just something for ourselves, but it's something to help other people. So by helping develop our own dream process, we are becoming more engaged with this reality in ways that we can begin and continue benevolent action towards helping other people. So lucid dreaming is not just what it's about. Lucid dreaming is like a stepping stone upon this whole dream exploration process. Your goal should not simply be to just have a lucid dream. Your goal should be to develop a relationship with your dreams. The lucidity will come over time, but the important thing is to just maintain consistency with it, and to not hold on to a dream very strongly. Some people might have a really crazy dream, and they'll just be like, what does that mean? What does it mean? The important thing I always say, don't focus on so much what it means. Focus on what it felt like. Focus on what the experience felt like for you, knowing that the dream always communicates to you through the language of symbols and so forth. And yeah. And don't always, a lot of people are just like, oh, well, I want to learn how to astral project. Like, astral project is like such a popular idea, it seems. It seems like such a phenomenal thing. And I think a lot of people talk about it within the spiritual community, yet very few actually achieve it. Very few are actually engaged with it. A lot of people have seen videos about it. A lot of people are like, I like talking about astral projection, and that makes me cool because I know what it is, but I don't actually practice it. So if you're someone like that, then pay attention, because you may be falling into spiritual materialism, and check in with yourself. Are you actually engaged with following action towards astral projection? For me, astral projection isn't something that I totally put a lot of attention towards and that's not an excuse. That's just because, you know, during the day, like, I'm doing other things and so forth, my attention goes into when I'm dreaming. Astral projection is a little bit different. Astral projection is a quick summary. Astral projection is going from a meditative state into a dream state with lucidity. That is what an astral projection is. An astral projection is not always this idea of going outside of your room. Some people will say, like, you know, like, oh, well, I was dreaming and then I floated outside of my room. Is that astral projection? By definition, not necessarily. That's still just a lucid dream. Astral projection is a specific practice, a specific route towards achieving lucidity within a dream. And I know that, again, some people get kind of confused about that, but astral projection is a term that should only be applied when you are intentionally meditating and going from like a meditative state into a dream state. But then again, some people say, like, oh, you know, I have a dream. I was napping on my couch and I accidentally astral projected. No, you didn't accidentally astral project. You accidentally had a lucid dream. Everything that happens when we astrally project is within the lucid dream. It's always there. It's always within the same realm. Even though when we're in a lucid dream and we think that we're floating above our house, not to say that we're not, but that is still within the dream realm and so forth. So again, just being mindful that, like, because yes, like, within our dreams, theoretically, we can go and see other people, but oftentimes when we're deep within a dream and we wake up to lucidity, the dream space will be a little bit different, which is why, like, with astral projection, because you're sort of going through that limbo phase, you have that opportunity to sort of go into your immediate surroundings, and not to just negate what I said, but that's kind of the point, is that, like, this dimension is still part of the dream space. It's still part of the bubble. It's like bubbles within bubbles sort of thing. So yeah, just to bring a little bit of clarity to that, add some comments below if you what astral projection means to you, what your experiences are with it. But again, yeah, just try to save the term astral projection only for when you intentionally go from a meditative state into a dream state with lucidity and so forth. It's not just about whether some people think that astral projection is just when you're like floating around and perceiving this physical world and stuff like that. Like not necessarily, not that it's not, but that's not just what it is, because you can go to other dimensions while astrally projecting. The idea is that there's more of an intention carried behind that action. So there we go, just a couple more tips about astral projection and stuff for those interested, because again, you know, like we are spiritual beings on having a human experience, and the dream space, every time we go back there, that's like us going back to where we came from, and then we come into the physical every day. And yeah, no, it's amazing. It's an amazing thing. So I encourage everybody to be able to continue their dream practice, and it'll happen. It'll happen. Just patience and consistency, and that will get you through, and you'll beautiful experiences will will come to you. And yeah, once you start looking for it, the universe will respond. Once you start writing down your dreams, the universe will say like, hey, this person's interested in dream exploration, like this person's interested in achieving lucidity, like let's give them a little bit more. You know, a lot of people say they don't remember their dreams. A lot of people who say that aren't people who are actively engaged with remembering their dreams. Once you put out that intention, that's another simple thing for a trick. You can put forth the intention as you go to sleep. Say like, I will remember my dreams, and write it down. Writing it down is magic. Do not forget that. The words, the symbols, when we write things down, it brings things into this reality a little bit differently than just thinking it. Writing things down is a very potent way to be able to bring things into reality. When we write something down and we see it, it does something. It triggers something a little bit more in the way how this matrix works. It's a way how to be able to like tap into the operating system a little bit more. So write down what it is that you want to dream about, and try that and see if it does. Even just write down, I will dream tonight. Things like that. Or write down a question that you might have, and the dream space might be able to bring it back to you through some sort of symbolic experience. So I'll end the video there. And yeah, I'm just sort of outside of this dream topic, just in terms of the work. Shout out to those of you who listened to the most recent Paradigm Shift Radio episode with Justin, our friend Justin Hippie Jedi. Really cool episode. I suggest people go back and watch it. In the meantime, I'm going to be doing the production side of things to make sure that I get that all up and ready to share with more people. And yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing to do more work. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do on the website. The Reality Encyclopedia I'm going to be building over the next while, laying down some more ideas for the Paradigm Shift Destiny School, managing things through the website, community events like locally for me, things like that. And of course, just inviting people that, you know, even if you just watch this video, and if you want to, even this video takes a little bit of time, right? If you want to just encourage any of what this is just about, I'm inviting people to sign up as monthly contributors for the Paradigm Shift Central Project for micro contributions of only $1 a week or $4 a month, or whatever's comfortable for you. And some of you have heard me talk about this before, but yeah, like this is the way how we will be able to sustain this project, from what I feel. In addition to, you know, you can always order buttons. You can always get the DVD for Journey to Lucidity. Those are great ways too. The micro contributions, I think, will be able to help sustain us last time, because nobody has to break their bank over it. And overall, we're just like putting our intention towards what it is that we want to see grow. And if you want to see this global project grow, if you want to see be able to outreach to more people, if you want to see more paradigm shift communities blossom across the world, if you want to support the conscious media that's being created through this project, if you want to be able to actively be a part of it and be engaged with its evolution, then that's one way of doing it. So thank you to everybody for watching this again, for listening, for doing what you can. And until next time, this is Brendan, and I shall see you in the future. So peace, one love. Have an awesome day. So cheers. Write down your dreams. Okay. Bye. Peace.